Hey everybody, Chris with Overclockers Club here. We've got something new here from Creative Labs. Alright, so we've got this nice little webcam here from Creative Labs. It's the LiveCam Sync V3 2K QHD webcam with 4x zoom and dual built-in microphones for video calls. So let's take a look at some of the features on the box. Looks like the box took a pretty good hit. I did check everything inside and it's okay, but anyway, so 2K QHD, 30 frames per second, 4x zoom, up to 95-degree viewing angle, touch control, dual built-in microphones, horizontal and vertical orientation. So you got 30 degrees and 360 degrees, and we'll look at that when we get it out of the box. Privacy lens cap, plug and play, UVC compliant. SmartComms kit. Let's see, works with Microsoft Teams, Skype, Zoom, Cisco, WebEx, Google Meet, and Messenger. And what else? Looks like the cable length is 5.9 feet or about 1.8 meters, just under 2 meters. And that's really about it on the box. All right, so that box damage, actually you can see the cables on the side that took the hit, so the camera's over here. So it looks like it was pretty well protected. Some of the stuff I get is the way the boxes are damaged, it's amazing. I've only had a couple of things ever get damaged. So here's the camera. So you've got a getting started with SmartComms kit. So I'll take a look through that. Not sure what that is. And this is your, this is your quick start guide. So I'll look through that here in a moment. But the camera itself, so there's your usual USB connection. It does have a threaded brass insert down here so that you can mount this. And then the hinge is reasonably tight. That's your clamp for clamping it onto a monitor. And then the little privacy cap or cover there. It's like a hard rubber. It's sort of pliable, but it's stiff. So it pops up, closes, covers the lens, and then you can drop it down. And it looks like the two microphones here, there's a very small perforated mesh cover on either side, so that looks like the two microphones, I believe. And it does pivot. It's pretty stiff, but that's what you want. You don't want the camera moving, especially when your cable can pull on the camera. You know, you move it where you want it, and then the cable pulls it away. So it's reasonably stiff, and it does pivot. So it's sort of on like a little ball and socket there. So you've got some angular adjustment from side to side and forward and back. So that's nice. And now we'll take a quick look at the details on the front of the camera as soon as we get it in focus. All right, so I'll use my handy little pointer here. So that is your 1440p, that's your resolution. Your f-stop is f2.2, 5-element lens, dual digital microphone, which we already talked about here. It's one side is behind this little mesh panel and the other one is behind that mesh panel. But basically, if you're not into photography, well, if you are into photography, you'll know exactly what this means. But if you're not, it's basically the ratio of your diameter right there, how big that hole is that lets light in, and that controls your depth of field and it controls your focal distance. And in a camera like this, it's going to be fixed. You can't adjust it. Now, a good professional camera, you can adjust your f-stop, usually between 1.4, then it goes to 2.0, 2.8, 4, 5.6, all the way up to, you can go up to f22. I think they even go larger than that. But what that means is the 1.4 is going to be a very large aperture. It's going to let in a lot of light. An f of 2.2 is sort of between 2.0 and 2.8. That sort of gives you a nice happy medium between a good focal distance and a good depth of field, because most people are going to have their camera here sitting on top of their monitor, and they're going to be 3, maybe 4 feet away from the monitor. So the engineers that have designed this camera have figured out that an f of 2.2 gives you a nice focal distance for a good clear image. And on the top of the camera, you see that little plus in the center right there. That's actually the area that you'll tap to adjust the zoom, and I'll show that here in a little bit. In fact, I'll just go ahead and use this camera to record the audio and video so you can sort of see what it looks like and what it sounds like. And we are now recording. I'm just using the camera app on my computer so you can see. I can make you seasick pretty quickly. So there is my beautiful face inside my studio here. But this gives you an idea of the quality of the image and the quality of the sound. And I don't know, maybe 2 feet away from the camera at this point. Now when I tap the top, you can see I can zoom in so you can really see my beautiful face. Looks like we've got, okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, okay, 4 settings, 4 zoom settings, and you can see the quality there. So this gives you an idea of what you would see in a meeting. So from what I've seen, this thing is really nice. And I've actually taken this to work and used it for several meetings for several weeks. And several times I got comments. People would say, hey, wait a minute, why is your image so much better than everyone else's? And I'd say, well, I've got a Creative Labs live cam here. And they were like, oh, well, send me some info on that. So again, like I said, it seems to be a pretty nice camera. And when the camera is on or active, you'll see this little white LED light up. And then when it is off, let me turn off the Windows camera app. It should go off, yeah. And then when you turn it back on or enable it, let's see, where is it? Here we go. Camera, turn it on, yeah. And then the little white LED lets you know that the camera is on. All right, so we've seen the camera and the physical features. What I want to do now is check out the manufacturer website and make sure there isn't anything that I've overlooked. And I also want to talk about the software. Now you can use the camera as it sits right out of the box. You can just plug it in and go, or there's actually some software from Creative Labs that allows you to do some more cool stuff with the camera. We'll look at that here in just a little bit. Yeah, it just says plug it in and you're ready to connect, and that's true. You don't need anything else to get rolling with it. So let's see. So these are the different meeting formats that it works with, and I'm only familiar really with a couple of those. Let's see. Is there anything else? Yeah, you can close it off, cover it up so nobody can see you. 4x digital zoom. Microphone, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now this is some of the software that I was talking about earlier. This is the SmartComms kit, and that's what we're going to look at here in just a moment. So it has the voice detect, so it picks up your voice when you speak and cuts off when you're done. That's nice. We've got noise clean out, removes background noise, sort of filters that out. That's nice too. Okay, so there's where you download the app, Creative app. And then this is nice here. You can look at the 3 different models that are available, and you can compare the features and see which one is best for you. I've only seen this one here, the V3, the Live Cam V3. So I can't really compare it other than on paper. But so far what I've seen, it's very nice. Okay, now on to the software. Okay, so to make things really work here, I'll show you some of the software. And again, keep in mind, you don't need any of this. You can plug this camera in and hit the ground running, and it will be just fine. But to take advantage of some of the cool features, so this is the Creative Labs app that you download from the Creative Labs website. Now I've got the Sound Blaster Katana V2 that I've already reviewed. So this is one of the devices that shows up in the system. And when the camera is plugged in, you come over here to devices and there should be a camera. Here we go, Creative Live Cam Sync V3. So now the camera comes up and you can see that we've got 3 different things we can click on. Now, when you first plug the camera in, it will look for any drivers that need updated, as you can see here, and it will update those for you automatically. But after that's all done, you can see you click on the camera here and you can adjust the brightness and the balance and the hue, flicker control, 50 or 60 hertz, depending upon if you're in North America or Europe. You can also click the auto if you don't want to change these settings manually. And we go back to the mixer. This is for the microphone. You can adjust the balance left or right, or just leave them equal. We've got settings over here. You can reset the device to the factory settings. You can check for the firmware. Firmware is up to date. You can check for drivers, which we have already updated automatically when it first started up. Let's see. I've got auto download firmware and auto download drivers, so it will always check for you. Here's your audio quality. You can adjust the microphone between 2 settings there, and yeah, that looks like all you can do. Now, the next thing we've got here is the SmartComms kit. So these are a series of settings that you can turn on and off. And what I'll do, I've got the camera sitting down here on the table, so I will enable the camera and then I will turn these settings on and off. And I've got some fan noise that I can turn on in the background and some other stuff, and you can see how it filters that out. Okay, so I have the camera rolling, and right now I have the voice detect off and the noise clean out off. I've got my background noise running. I've got a fan over here, 2 more fans, and then I've got some noise coming from some outside cameras. So you can see it probably sounds kind of hollow in here, a bit of an echo. And when I turn on the noise clean out, and then I'll turn on the voice detect, that should make a significant difference. It should cut out all the background noise, all the fan noise, things like that. So this gives you an idea of when you enable these things, the noise clean out and the voice detect over here, how that affects the sound quality. I'll go ahead and turn those off now. And it should go back to that hollow, kind of an echoey sound. And again, I'll turn them both on. And you can see that makes a difference. And there's off again. So yeah, I would say this is definitely a nice feature to have. So after playing around with the SmartComms kit, I would say that's definitely worth installing. And right now this is $49.99. That's the retail price. You may find it on sale somewhere and save a few bucks. But I think this camera really makes a lot of sense. And hopefully yours arrives with the box that isn't squished like that. That's not Creative's fault. That's just the way it came in shipping. So I would give this the Overclockers Club Gold Award. This is Chris with Overclockers Club. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.